are going to be getting into grand finals of LSL gold bracket for LSL 25. But their teams are Inkception and Ufish. They've got big rosters. They've got a lot of names that are really important. We're going to be looking out for Hatchet. We're going to be looking out for Nerf Tentas. We're going to be looking out for Litzy on that charger. We're going to be looking out for Cookies. This is going to be a fun set.
Yes, my eye is definitely on Hatchet as that game maker, that game changer for Inkception. And with the support of Litzy and Kira as well, I think them enabling Hatchet to do whatever work that needs to be done will be the key here for Inkception. And I'm greatly looking forward to what they come up with for game 1 of our finals. We're finally to finals. Finally.
Finally finals.
Best of 7. So imagine, we talked earlier about the breaking point. These teams, now hold on. These teams have been going on now since 1 p.m. Eastern. It is just about to hit 6 p.m. Eastern. They have been sitting here
5 hours
for 5 hours at this point, with the past maybe 20 to 30 minutes here just sitting on ice waiting for finals to arrive, with Ufish of course having the whole disconnect issues and the lobby issues. But Inkception has probably been sitting here for about 10 to 15 minutes just waiting. And what's going to happen? These teams are going to be cold. These teams are completely on ice. They are frigid cold right now, like just as cold as it is outside right now for me in the great state of Ohio. So that is definitely going to be coming into play here. And I'm expecting a lot of scrappiness because these teams are ice cold. They're probably coming off from, like a ranked battle or whatever, and they're like, all right, we finally got to play now. Well, how do we, we got to get in the zone. How do we do that again?
Right. It's gonna be, especially on a map like Museum, whoever wakes up first is going to send a shock to whoever system did not, right? Like, especially if that E-leader comes out and all of a sudden just boom, boom, 2 shots, and everyone's just like, oh, right, we're back in the game now. We need to start actually thinking. But at that point, it might just be a little bit too little too late. Museum, though, is a very fun map mode, in my opinion. It can be very back and forth.
Also, correction for the folks watching at home, ignore the stream error. This is not Ufish. This is Leviathan, by the way. Correction. We want to make that clear, by the way, because I also just said Ufish by mistake. I'm getting all of the teams mixed up and jumbled as we've been sitting here waiting for the past, 30 minutes.
It's all good fun. It's all good fun here in Little Squid League 25.
It's all a good time. But
who do you got your bets on?
I think my bets is on Inkception right now. If we want to go by what's actually happening behind the curtain, I say that they could possibly be iced. But I mean, I think Leviathan is probably more iced right now than Inkception because of all of the wacky DC nonsense that they've been dealing with for probably the past 15 minutes or so. And then all of a sudden now they finally get to switch over to actual gameplay, hopefully. And are they really going to be in it? Are they going to be in that zone and that flow state, completely tunnel vision into this game, ready to go? I don't know.
Going to be a test of wills, is my thinking. A pure test of wills to see which of these teams comes out on top. At this point, the stronger team mentally is going to be the winner. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
It's like low ink, basically. And then not only that, you're also have to factor in the counter pick system that is coming into play now in this best of 7 match, right? That's going to require a little extra critical thinking. And I mean, honestly, if I were in these players' shoes right now, my brain would be fried, like onion rings fried, crispy, and I would not be able to generate a thought for a counter pick to throw out.
Right,
there.
Exactly.
Like you just lost a game. Darn, that sucks. Now we got to come up with something, and I don't know what's gonna be. It's really tough mentally to do that. Right,
exactly. Like you're playing the set. you're playing the first game, you lose. You're sitting there waiting for the next one to start, and then you see the Battlefight chat. Oh, we have to counterpick something. Oh goodness, what have we been winning on today? And like Inkception has been doing well on stuff like, you know, zones. So maybe they'll be counterpicking that. Maybe they'll be counterpicking a little bit more Clan Blitz. Leviathan, though, we're going to have to see what they come up with. Because again, I have not seen this team play.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were featured very early on in the stream against, I think it was against the Joseph Joestar team, if I remember correctly. But regardless, I mean, at this point, even what you're comfortable with might not actually even be the counterpick play. There's like this balance that you would have to consider between what you're actually comfortable with versus what you think will actually address your concerns and what you could actually defeat your opponent in. Because what if you're comfortable with something, but your opponent is also comfortable with them? Do you feel confident enough in your team, in yourself, in your comp, in your capabilities to be the better team in the map mode combination that you're both good at? So I get the mind games here. It reminds me of when Access Denied. Oh my gosh, do you remember that one link where Access Denied, they got brutalized in Rainmaker Manta back in Splatoon 2? I think wasn't it the last Splatoon 2 Link?
No. Yes. Yeah. Or was it the second to last? It was one of the two.
And either the July or August Low Ink, Access Denied, and it was like semi-finals of Alpha Bracket. They lost, like, it was either game 1 or game 2 in Rainmaker Manta. Like, they got completely brutalized. And eventually they were down in the set and they got to game 6, down for the count, like at game point, ready to lose. And they just said I think it was a trolling point, and they just picked Rainmaker Manta and defeated their opponent on it, and it was fascinating. But anyways, mind games aside, we are finally into finals of LSL 25. Let's see if the lobby can hold up, Magic.
Let's get into it. I hope everybody's excited. This is going to be a good set between two very strong teams, duking it out to try and claim their position as dominance in this historic tournament. Big Bubbler is online, and first flip is going towards the side of Inkception as there's a roller in zone and looking for a couple of picks.
And we already see this charger battle already, looking for picks, looking to kind of exert that sideline pressure that we have talked about all night at this point. The roller going down, one player down a piece on both sides of the map, and with the zone flipping back onto Leviathan's side, goodness, words. We see a bit of a staggered wipe here as the zone timer just keeps on ticking down.
And Hatchet makes a couple of nice flicks there to take down two members of Leviathan, trying to clear the way for the team to get onto the zone, and they do. Missiles are coming online. These specials are probably going to be on pace for the members of Inkception to keep this ball rolling, and that's the junior going down as well. Really seems like they're in their flow now. They've got the right things that they need to do down, especially Hatchet, who's just been absolutely going forward and making things happen.
Right, these key plays that Hatchet is making allows Inkception to hold their ground and get the key positioning that they need, right? Oh, the Stringer rightfully calling out the Dapple Dualies here in the beacons. You see this way, Kira calling for help, beckoning for some teammates to help. Here comes Hatchet. Looks like a battle here on right court. There is a trade. No, Hatchet comes out of it alive. They are still moving in this ink here, Magic. Oh my goodness, Hatchet making all the plays.
And really, that's been the story for this team the past couple of games, is they've just been giving this frontliner the room to work with, and they've been taking it the whole 9 yards. That's the game going towards Inkception for the first of the set for Grand Finals.
I mean, the story that was told here was, Leviathan just kept going down one by one. That's what I just noticed consistently throughout the entire match. And when you're going down one by one and not even taking some trades down with you, that player advantage that you lose track of, that you lose sight of during that match, well, it's just start to take a toll. And you're unable to make plays when you don't have enough players to rally together to get the zone. and Hatchet was able to just distract just enough and just divert enough attention for Inkception to get a hold of that zone, get the charger at the key positions that they need to be in to exert their sideline pressure. I mean, great execution on Inkception's side of things. Great job.
Right. It seems like they're really mastering those distractics, those deception tactics, and in doing so, they've been putting on a lot of pressure. Like, they didn't even have to cross the midline, and they were able to hold that zone like most of that game. It felt like they were in the driver's seat, and they never even crossed that midline. Like, they were just kind of chilling on the zone for the good majority of that lockout situation. They had the charger like on top mid and in an aggressive position to make sure to get snipes, but like they never went too far.
You make a really great observation there, Magic, because I think Inkception had a good understanding of not only just pacing, but self-control, right? You think that you have controlled the zone. Great, let's move forward. Let's take a little bit more ink back in our favor. Let's just get a little bit more. Let me get another kill. But no, Inkception did a great job of not overextending, trying to hold their ground in the key positions that they felt comfortable in, right? They really didn't shift a lot. Like you said, the charger was in their prime position. Hatchet was watching that right drop supported by the other players. I mean, it was just great positional play, and they had a great understanding of it, and it executed really well.
Let's see if that transfers though to Eeltail Rainmaker, where this map is so fluid and dynamic and scrappy that it's either going to be one of the two situations: the deception tactics and the chaos that they're able to institute ends up going well in their favor, or they get lost in that sauce, in that secret sauce that the bean spilled everywhere earlier, and they end up going down. Leviathan needs to try and make use of that.
Right. And they still have a fighting chance here. It wasn't like Inkception was just steamrolling them here, right? I think it was just a couple of key moments where they had one player go down at just the wrong opportunity, and that the dominoes just continued to fall there. Now, as we're entering game 2 here, we see a couple of comp changes. Both sides of the map wielding blasters, but it looks like Leviathan is running pretty similar to what they've ran before tonight.
It's fascinating that we're not seeing any machine. I think that's just fascinating. Instead opting for the range blaster, which it makes a little bit of sense, you know, considering here, like, you want to be able to poke out this top area where this charger is sitting from a safer distance. But still, like, the verticality of the sloshers cannot be understated. Instead, we're going to see the blaster get put to absolute work here as Litzy picks up that Rainmaker, and they're going to be getting this one going for Inkception. Already in this great bottom left position near the pedestal. Unfortunately, bored on those dapples, landing those shots, not going to be able to clear that checkpoint just yet. But they need to get this cooler up. They need to start getting these members back alive, back online, so that they can keep this one rolling. And another nice pick from the dapples.
The dapples making some crucial plays, getting that second kill there. Crucial for keeping the momentum here. Bored, still staying alive, looking to pick that potential third. Someone else was able to get that kill. I mean, this is Leviathan's chance to gain back some ground. I mean, Board is putting on a ton of pressure with their dualies as the tactical comes online, and they are ready to get this Rainmaker going, Magic.
And look how they are not the ones that pick up the Rainmaker. I think that's so important, is to make sure the right person is picking up. Even though going down there, like, Board is still online, putting up the beacons, has the paint down. Fortunately, it goes down right there, but it seems like the Leviathan knows what they're doing once they get into those positions.
Right, they're able to get a rhythm going, but it looks like that rhythm is being just constantly disrupted here with just each member going down one by one. I think that those beacons of the tacticalers is what Leviathan's able to keep going with. They're just about to take this lead here. The brush is going in, getting a kill. Couldn't get the trade against the squeezer here, and it looks like Leviathan is just jumping for it, trying to just garner any points that they can while they're still in this zone, in this area.
Rainmaker's in a safe spot. The lead has gone to Leviathan for the time being. Now, Inkception needs to try and turn this one around, right? They're in these kind of high ground positions, in these safe spots, and they need to find a way to break back in. take some risk and do so effectively. That Inkzuka does come online, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The Brush is on the far right side here, and they're just kind of stuck.
I was just about to say, they can't move right now. I mean, Leviathan has some great positioning to keep this Rainmaker locked into one area. They're unable to progress, and they punish that very well. We do see the Rainmaker pop again on the side of Inkception. They're finally starting to find their footing here, trying to get a pick on the Dapples. But wait, someone just picked it. Leviathan just sneaked through and picked it up again. It looks like Inkception made a little error here and just took their eyes off the Rainmaker for just 1 second, and someone snuck through and grabbed the Rainmaker again. That distraction play, I don't know if that was worth it or not, but I mean, it did take Inkception by surprise.
It really did, and you can see that they're floundering because of it. They end up going 3-4 down, and they're about to get a lot of paint on the ground in front of this Rainmaker. Luna jumping it ahead, not going down somehow, some way to that squeezer, pushing it all the way to 35, and that's a really hard barrier to get to. Board's backing up, and they're going to have the jumps in because of those beacons from the Dapple dualies. They're going to get shut out of mid once again if they don't move fast. They can't get patient. They can't be complacent when trying to push this Rainmaker, and it seems like that's exactly what they're doing.
Board and Harold on the junior made a fantastic play call there by retreating. That did give their teammates a moment to kind of recoup. But even with that play call, I still think it was the right call here. It looks like Inkception is able to turn the tides around as 3 go down and almost a staggered wipe on the side of Leviathan. And Inkception is looking to get the podium, and they do, slamming it down on the podium. And there's only 40 seconds left, Magic. They have got to make some moves right now. This is their opportunity. They've only got one shot. They can't miss their chance to go. The ink vac comes through, and the Rainmaker is about to dip. They need to get this ink vac shot. They need to find something. 20 seconds. They've got the paint. They need to get those jumps in. Sual on the squeezer needs to come forward and help out Luna, who's been doing so much work on this range blaster to keep this push going, keep this push alive, and they get there. Board is sharking on the right side, but Kira found them out. Gonna go down. Now they're gonna be sitting ducks in mid for the time being. Board gets another, is able to climb the wall, is rolling forward, but doesn't land the last pick as this overtime still ticks down, and these specials are able to keep things going. Oh my god, I thought Board was about to secure them the play. Oh no, but the Brush here coming from behind. Oh no, but the Squeezer's able to defend. No, but the Squeezer missed their shots, and the Brush, Leviathan's Brush, was able to swoop in and play spoiler makers for Inkception there. Oh no. Oh no, Magic.
Mizuno, I think we've got a set on our hands.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I believe that was Paulo on the Brush there. And they basically tried to make the same move that Board was able to do. Just a little turnaround flank, get behind the enemy, and just take down the Rainmaker in a kind of little surprise attack. And Inkception they weren't ready for that type of thing to happen right there and then. They just weren't ready to progress.
They really weren't. It seemed like they just had like a little bit too much hesitation in some of those fights, right? I think the comp changes with the Brush and everything was exactly the right call for Leviathan. Like, that's the kind of adjustments they need to be making throughout the set. It's just going to be a matter of continuing that, making sure that they can keep consistently adjusting as they need to, and especially since it's a counterpick system, getting that win, even though it's on their counterpick, is still super important, but eventually they're going to need to be able to make that adjustment once again on an enemy's counterpick. They need to be able to do it there. But what Inkception is going to go for? Again, I think they're probably going to go for something like zones or clams.
I don't remember the rule set for this, but I don't think you can pick the same mode that you've won on. And it looks like the pick has been made, folks. Mahi clams. Oh, now this. All right.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say about this because the CCA has put this map mode combo, I think, like twice in our map list for the league, and this is like a do or die game because 2 can go down and you can just make a giant push. So both teams have to play so extremely carefully, and one little mistake can cost you dozens of clams and dozens of points. So you have to play this game so patiently and so carefully and so methodically. I am so looking forward to this, because this is like you have to be so patient and so strong-willed.
Like, the fight pit in the middle of that map is so like tense, and we're gonna be getting into it right here as game 3 comes through. We're gonna have to see them try and work around that tight mid area. Luna's gonna be picking up that blaster once again. Hatchet gonna be switching to the brush this time around. And we're going to be seeing the 96 again out from Lutzy. That's, I think that these are good picks, but it's just fascinating to see.
Yes, the 96 and the Squeezer combo, that is very distinct. And something that it's not, I mean, I rarely see a combo like that. But already, Inkception is already 2 down. This is one of the catalyst magic. Almost 3 down. Boar getting a very clean kill there, a very crucial kill. Those 2 down situations are like key catalysts. I mean, already, like 2 down and the barrier's already broken. We're only 30 seconds into this match magic, and a ball has already popped the basket.
Unfortunately, not going to be able to get any other follow-up afterwards, and the Druids are going to have to retreat back to mid. But the question is, can Inkception take over it? Can they make sure that they have a good stranglehold? And it seems like they didn't move too far forward. They're going to have to use this ink vac to climb up this ramp for the time being. You see them trying to stuff out that vac and make sure that they can put ink and bullets into that position. Fortunately, Hatchet's already up there, and they're gonna get 1 down. They're gonna get a full wipe. I didn't even see what happened, but this is already nearly 4 power clams. They've got so many points coming in. That might be the game if they can land this and get 1 more in. It's just the gal, and no, they're not gonna be able to find it. Wow.
That staggered use, oh my gosh, of the ink vac into the Trizuka was the catalyst, sending 2 players down from Leviathan. That was your catalyst magic, and what a great use of those 2 special combinations and allowing Hatchet to get in and disrupt and cause mayhem and trouble. And now Leviathan, they're gonna have to pull something out of their back pocket here. It looks like they have started on that. I mean, just getting a few clams in, but nothing to compare to Inkception's points. And they already have to back off. Great defensive front by Inkception. They have already closed the basket on Leviathan.
Trying to make things work around, but it's not going to be enough. Gonna try and use this brush on the side of Leviathan to keep them back, but that Zuka's gonna shove them out. All they need is 2 power clams and 4 smaller clams to knock this one out of the park. Although it is much harder now that the water has raised to get that incredibly aggressive offensive front. It's a lot easier when the ground near the basket hasn't been raised, as you see it is right here. So because of that, now it's going to be even harder to get those pushes in. Because Inkception got that first big push, they're in a huge advantage.
Right, I mean, that's just... Oh, wait a minute!
That's 2 jumps! The power clams get thrown! One of the misses, but Kira's there and gets it in! Holy cow! I can't believe what just happened.
Leviathan was trying to make a push of their own, but I think it was Hatchet. Someone snuck through, got a jump ready, and Magic, I'm flabbergasted. I'm stunned. That was so sneaky.
That was so sneaky. Oh my goodness.
Inkception playing spoiler maker right now, stealing it from Leviathan, not even giving them the chance to utilize the remaining 2 minutes to come up with a response, and instead just taking the game from right under their noses, literally. We didn't even see it. We couldn't even see it happening.
It was so good. Like, the way that as soon as they step a little bit too far forward and lose track of one of their members, they get shut down. And that's the kind of play that you need to be having when you're in these final situations. Like, you can't let the enemy team even get a chance. You need to play like it is do or die all the time, or else the team might get a little bit too confident. Like, you might start letting them get back into the game. You need to, the best teams are able to shut down their opponents at whatever propositions they might put forward.
That's such a good way of putting it, Magic, because like you have to be constantly activated all the time. Like, you just cannot let anything slip from your grasp. You have to be so attentive and have so many observations. You cannot let one slip away. I'm sure someone on Leviathan maybe noticed that, wait a minute, we're getting this push in and it's a little bit too easy. Why is that? Why in that moment was it too easy when four players on the opposing side was still alive? Why was it so easy? They were just about to pop the basket. That's why we were so shocked, so flabbergasted when all of a sudden the basket is popped on the other side of the map. They weren't paying attention. They didn't observe. Why were there 4 players alive? And yet we were about to score the basket so easily. That little detail, as minute and small as it is, could have made them realize something was up. And that attention to detail, being so attentive and so activated like that all the time, it's just devastating. I get it. It's a tough one to make.
They're going to have another chance to bounce back, though. This is their counter pick. They decided to go tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard, which is really good for that range blaster and really good for these dualies, right? Where you can put in the beacons, you can keep the paint going, and you can have these nice long-range spots for this blaster to work alongside the brush. And it's going to be Hatchet going to be trying to keep things at bay, but not going to be able to. 2 down on the side of Inkception, and this is looking like it could be a good first push, and this was what they needed on the side of Leviathan to keep the momentum in their favor and make sure that they can just stay in this game.
What a great attack plan by Leviathan to narrow in on their opponents on the left side there, acting as the catalyst to take the tower. It was just very effective, and Inkception just wasn't prepared for just that start of the match. That neutral was a little bit of a shocker to them, I think. They were also grouped up, and I'm surprised that this push did not last long enough, honestly. And now we're back into this neutral situation. Inkception looking to gain some ground back with this wave breaker, looking just about to inch forward onto that tower, with both sides having 1 player down.
So as Paulo's been really doing well at sharking things out in this mid area, can end up going down after falling into the Fight Club, and Board is not able to follow up on the weakened members of Inkception. They're going to have a chance to get this one rolling. A triple strike comes through. Not going to be finding anyone quite yet. They might be able to break this checkpoint. They've got the bubbler, but the bomb was well placed and put in before it got thrown down. They might not be able to break this checkpoint. Luna was in such a good spot to defend it. The members of Leviathan are keeping this mid area yellow.
I think Inkception, I think they were a little bit too hasty with this push. I mean, they had no specials online to actually address the blaster that was completely out of their range. That, again, Luna was in such a great position. Now, on the flip side, the tower is now been taken to the other side of the map. Leviathan looking to clear this checkpoint. Just about to do so. They just need a few more points, and they just about did. The tower is just still sitting there. It looks like some bombs are finally stalling, and the checkpoint is cleared. We see Board trying to go in as 2 members are down of Inkception. I mean, Magic, this is the moment for Leviathan. This is their time.
This is their time, but Inkception's got the specials online. They are able to take members down. Paulo's sharking here, might be able to find, but Swall was able to back up just closely enough to barely stay alive and keep that slosher bucket sloshing. Board finding a nice shark. It's still not over for Leviathan. They've still got the lead, but they want to keep pushing the pace. They know that these leads aren't safe, and they're going to be trying to keep these fights rolling because they've been falling into their favor.
Great positioning here by the brush. Oh, I was just about to say that would have been a crucial kill to get, but the brush trading out and getting control of that spinner will be crucial to getting this tower down onto that plat area. We see now Board with the duelists trying to take out the blaster here, succeeds, drops down a very nice pick, and it looks like it might be the catalyst for another push with the tower as we see the Tacticooler live online, ready to go to help initiate this push.
Right, exactly. exactly that. Tactical is going to allow Board to get all the way up into their faces and not have to worry too much about the future. They end up pushing it down to 38. The members are coming back online shortly. Bubbler gets taken down, but look at this. They're already back into mid as Paulo gets the swinging sleigh onto the roller of Hatchet. Missiles come through, but isn't going to be enough to actually keep the members back. The trip strike as well gets a little bit wasted, it looks like, as it wasn't placed quite where it needed to kill off this Dapple Doolies. Gonna end up going another one down. They're trying, they're fighting on the side of Inkception to keep this game going into their favor, keep these fights moving, but they just can't seem to quite etch out the members of Leviathan as another goes down and Swats to back up.
Right, it's just those crucial 1v1 fights, just one little thing just not going their way. You saw that tri-strike. That would have been a little bit better positions. That would have been making things so much easier for Inkception to be able to finally take this tower. We see the tri-strike putting some pressure onto the railing here, but oh my god, Paulo on the brush taking down. That's 2 members of Inkception down. There's only 15 seconds on the clock now. This is do or die for Inkception. They cannot let this slip away from them.
They really can't. They've got one chance to make this game fall into their favor, to really put Leviathan in the hole, and they're gonna try and go for it. The tower has been, one member has been taken down. Hatchet got a little bit too far forward. Overtime is here and they need to stay on, but they are unable to. A beautiful zip caster from Paulo, and that seals it. Leviathan is keeping things even Stevens, and if it goes back and forth like this, Inkception's gonna win out.
You're right, this back and forth, winning that game 1 is so crucial. Oh my god, Magic, we are in for a set. I mean, now this is interesting too, because now Inkception, again, now we're back into the counterpoint. With Inkception winning that first game, if we're going to be trading out games like this every match, at some point, I mean, if this is the pattern that we're going to be settling in, Inkception is going to take it.
Right, exactly. There needs to be a tipping of the scales, one might say, for Leviathan. They need to trip up Inkception on one of their counter picks, and they need to be able to predict what is going to be in front of them. If they see the map mode and it's something like Clan Blitz and they're not expecting the brush to go as hard as it does, then that's the adjustment that they need to make. And on something like TC Hagglefish, they need to be expecting that roller, they need to be expecting that blaster, and they need to make sure that whatever backline comes out of Inkception is absolutely obliterated and does not get a chance to set up, because this is the chance for that to happen.
Right, and what's going to be really crucial here is not only watching that backline, watching that roller, but the pacing of this game is going to be so difficult. Again, we are back to this whole debate with the whole Splatoon 3 maps where it's so linear and so narrow. I mean, one little mistake and you just lose control at mid, and all of a sudden the tower just starts tumbling forward. Game 5 Magic, we're heading in, both teams tied up at 2, and we are heading into Game 5, TC Hagglefish. Oh, we are in for a ride.
We are in for a ride. No backline coming out this time. Instead, they're opting to go for a Splash-O-Matic on the side of Kira, and the bucket stays alive, and no composition change from Leviathan. They liked what worked last game. They're not going to change it up. Board gets picked off, though, hiding underneath a beacon, and is not going to find safety under that flimsy shelter. The bubbler is online, but look at Paulo stuck in a corner, ends up taking down Hatchet with them, but this is a really good push for Inkception. Look at the trip strike coming through. Look at everything that is being so forward and aggressive, and they can't get anything done because of the bubblers. They're gonna try and make this one to keep moving. Unfortunately for Leviathan, they can't get Kira out of their base. Finally they do. And Mizuno, this is the chance that Leviathan needs to take back the game.
They absolutely need this now. Otherwise, this momentum, that tower is going to slide right through the checkpoint like butter. Already down for the count. 30 points on the board for Inkception. Leviathan right now, they could not be feeling good about that. That whole minute was just wasted on Inkception, just steamrolling that tower right through. What great use of the bubbler. What great use of the tri-strike. I mean, that was just a well-executed push. And now Leviathan looking to start a push of their own. 2 down on the side of Inkception. This is their time with Paulo on the Zipcaster looking to go in, jumping up, but couldn't follow through with the kill.
It seemed like Paolo really wanted to start a snowball of their own, and they're at least getting the first checkpoint over and done with, and gonna regroup for the time being, which is the right call. They've got the beacons, they've got the pacing to keep up with the members of Inkception, and they know exactly what they need to do. Jodic is gonna try and find the Paolo on this brush, and is gonna do so. Goes down to a beautifully timed bomb throw from Herald. Gonna pop a bubbler of their own, and Kira's in mid trying to play spoiler, trying to be that disruption, and Hatchet's gonna end up going down for it. But look, another one goes down. No, this is not what you needed to be doing if you're Inkception, and Leviathan is trying to make a move forward. They've got the chance to do so. The Blaster's in a perfect position, and this is their opportunity.
This is their time to shine, Magic. They played that, Leviathan played that so patiently, and they backed off at just the right moments, but not fully backed off, not fully into mid. They waited, they played their patient game, and this is paying off now. They're able to just slowly move that tower forward, and you see Jodic on the Blaster, they haven't moved from that one ramp. They have been out that ramp for almost a minute at this point because they just can't go any further. This is very dangerous for Inkception right now. I know they have the lead, but with the way that Leviathan is playing, Inkception keeps going 2 down. Leviathan is going to have their moment to strike, and Magic, that moment might be right now.
Right, they keep giving them opportunities, and that's exactly what you need to not do if you're on the side of Inkception. The trip strike comes down and is going to clear the tower for the time being, but Board is going to be able to pave a way, clear the path. The checkpoint is being reached, and they've got jumps in. Paulo wants to get this pick and is able to. 35 remaining for Leviathan, and it seems like they have not taken their foot off the gas literally all game.
Oh my goodness. We see Hatchet here coming on the left side here, just playing their disrupting game that they play so well, but they get nothing out of it, Magic. I think Leviathan is starting to understand where Hatchet is coming from. We see Board here on the Dapples trying to play distraction too, but comes up with nothing, Magic, nothing. I mean, these teams are just trading back and forth at this point, and neither one is giving in.
Yeah, talk about evenly matched. That is what this feels like. It feels like a battle of two absolute wills trying to best one another, trying to overcome. Inkception might be able to eke it out, though. They have been so incredibly stubborn on these defenses, and even when they go a lot down, they keep sending in those specials, keep sending in their players to fight and scrap and trade, and it's been working out so well every time as this crab comes online, and they're able to stop the tower push for the time being, trying to find the sharking enemies. Not going to be able to do so quite yet as one more gets traded, one more left alive. Is this Leviathan's time? It might be. There's no trip strike online. They've got the chance. They need to get on the tower and stay on power. They're trying to go for it, but no, Hatchet's there, trying to roll around and is able to get down too. That's it. It's done. Leviathan is unable to overcome them. That was insane from Inkception on the defense.
I cannot believe it. Every moment, I swear, there was probably 6 different times where Inkception would go 2 down. Leviathan would be getting onto the tower and ready to get that push in. And you see here, I didn't realize this, the quad dab earlier. That was beautiful. I have to point that out. But anyways, they would go 2 down, and you would think that Inkception is just in so much trouble that Leviathan would be able to take advantage of that and get the points that they need. But somehow they would stand strong. They played Spoiler Maker that entire match, and they just... Magic, you're right. They were so stubborn. They did not give in, and they played that as close as they could get it. And now Inkception has the upper hand now. They have forced Leviathan onto the counter pick again.
They have forced Leviathan onto the counter pick once again, and that's exactly where they don't want to be. They really wanted to make this thing clean. They so desperately wanted it. Oh, but they're gonna have to. It's tournament point now. Tournament point. They can no longer make mistakes. They can no longer make a lot of mistakes. They need to keep their gameplay as clean as possible. They can't let Inkception get those initial pushes that they've been doing so well. They need to put up a good stance in neutral and stop them from getting those early leads, because these maps are so snowbally. Even though they can start getting pushes of their own, if Inkception keeps that stubborn defense up, it's no use.
I mean, honestly, Leviathan is in such trouble if they go 2 down. I mean, they cannot afford to lose and get too ahead of themselves and lose out on like one-on-ones that they did not need to take. I mean, we're back here on Hagglefish Market. I'm sure these teams are exhausted of this map, and yet they still are coming. We are still coming back to this on game 6. Splat Zone's Hagglefish Magic. Game point for Inkception. Let's roll right into it.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Hagglefish Market, and they're gonna be switching up the compositions on the side, on both sides actually. The E-Looter does come out this time, but is gonna get shut down by those missiles. Not gonna be able to stay in place too much on the side of Leviathan, as Hatchet gets another perfectly timed double and is gonna shut down any opportunity Leviathan has. And this is what I was talking about, Mizuno. They can't let these early pushes happen, or else they're gonna be in the hole and fighting an uphill battle the entire time. Look at this double bubble trouble on the zone, and they need to find a way around it. Oh, the Zipcaster comes in and is gonna try and find some picks, but might not be able to do so. But a beautiful follow-up by Board. I can't believe that.
Oh my goodness, there's just so much happening. I was just about to say, the whole reason why Leviathan is down 55 points in this match was because of the reflux missiles. The missiles completely disrupted them. We're back in Splatoon 2, and Inkception was able to utilize those missiles so incredibly well, Magic. And in order to get back into this game, Leviathan needs to get a handle on how they move around those missiles. Oh my god, now the zone is back into Inkception's favor. Leviathan is in a little bit of trouble here, Magic.
Leviathan is in a lot of trouble, if I'm being quite honest. Look at where Jodek is positioned all the way forward. Gonna end up getting traded out, but now Paulo is gonna be stuck in a sea of ink and waiting for Hatchet. Gonna get taken down finally, but the members of Leviathan still do not feel confident stepping forward at all. And that's what they need. They need that confidence, but they've been playing so... They can't. How can they be confident when every time they try and do something, anything, it gets shut down? They've got the cooler. They've got 3 specials, but they've got 1 down as well. Hatchet wants to seal this one away right now. Can Leviathan come back and at least keep this one alive? 3 go down because of Board, and it's gonna be able to keep this one alive.
Board being the playmaker in that moment, just stepping just far enough and getting the crucial kills on the zone. That's the big thing here, getting those kills on the zone, allowing it to turn over. And oh no, Inkception is 3 members down with just the reflux alive. They see the jump. Is Luna gonna get the jump? No, they didn't arrive at time. But anyways, now the missiles are coming online. How did they address it? Nothing happens. That's good for Leviathan. The missiles came out at a really awkward time. I think Inkception got a little bit too hasty with those missiles, and now 2 down on each side as the clock is ticking for Inkception right now. Leviathan is ready to take this lead.
Yeah, and they did such a good job at avoiding Hatchet's bubbler while it was popped up, and because of that, they were able to make sure that nobody was able to paint the zone, and Leviathan ends up getting 3 down on the Inkception. They're not done yet. They want this in a Game 7 situation. They're still fighting. I really don't understand how they were able to turn that one around in the way that they did. It felt like Inkception was in control for so long.
Oh my god. I mean, I think I'm flabbergasted right now. You're right. I mean, we had seen time and time again, you think that Inkception just had the total hold on them. The lockout was so secure. And yet, Leviathan, they just played Spoiler Maker. I think once they were able to get that initial zone flip back, Inkception just played a little bit too hasty. I remarked earlier, the reflux missiles came out at such an awkward time when there was no other special online for Inkception to actually utilize, right? Like once you use the missiles alone, when there's actually nothing happening, I mean, they just go to waste, and that's one special gone, useless, like nothing to make use of it. I think that was the catalyst that just sent the snowball just tumbling down the hill. And
Right.
gamers, we're in a game 7 of LSL 25.
Yeah, is this what you wanted from LSL? Is this what you were hoping for? Because holy cow, I'm so glad. And we're going to be seeing Rainmaker for the last game. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy because I think both of these teams could do very well on Rainmaker. It's just going to it's really going to depend on who has the best fights. They want it to come down to skill and skill alone to keep this Rainmaker moving forward. I'm so excited for this game.
I know the one team is just going to be absolutely heartbroken after this match. I hate to put a downer onto this, but man, you think after this fight for so long, Magic, we've been here, LSL has been running for almost 6 hours now. It is almost 7 p.m. Eastern. This tournament started at 1 p.m. Eastern. Both of these teams are going to have to drum up the absolute willpower right now. Something from deep within to get ready for this game 7.
They have to, like, if this is the jar, like, they have to go, like, literally elbow deep and then, like, probably halfway through their shoulder if they want to pull this one out, because that's how far they need to, that's how far they've gone, that's how far they've come. This is game 7 of LSL 25 Grand Finals. Can you believe it? Can you get excited? We're gonna be seeing the range blasters on both sides, Swall on that squeezer that we've been seeing so much, and everything else staying kosher. I'm ready.
I am so ready, Magic. I'm going to keep my eye on Paulo on the side of Leviathan. Right as I say that, Paulo goes down. I kept too close of an eye on Paulo, unfortunately. Oh, no, but, oh, the Rainmaker's being picked up here by Inkception. They're the ones to take the first grab at it. But the Inzap goes down, so no tactical or use. This is kind of a bit of an awkward situation to make this push so early on. I mean, both teams didn't really seem set. They just kind of just went. I mean, they just got started.
Yeah, for real. Although it seems to be a little bit of a stalemate right now, kind of trying to poke and prod and see where they can find an opening, but they seem to have abandoned this right side of mid completely, and because of that, they're about to get collapsed on. Paulo's able to come forward, board from the left side. That's going to be 3 down on the side of Inkception, just an Enzap sharking around. Might get cut out by Paulo. That's going to be such a big pick. That's so big because they probably really close to Cooler as well. The Zipcaster comes in and Jodik isn't expecting it. Is going to go down for it. Not going to be able to knock out the pedestal quite yet. Not going to be able to clear the checkpoint. But this is a really good spot for the members of Leviathan. They've got a good head start on this game.
Right, exactly. Now the key thing here is that Inkception with this push, they need to find some sort of direction. It's their first initial push had no direction. Right as I see that, they just all of a sudden 180 again, right into board on those dualies, on those dapples, looking for another pick on the squeezer, unable to secure it. And now Inkception all over the board right now, popping the ink vac just because, honestly. I mean, Let's See is just kind of stuck there. And looks like now Inkception is doubling down on this path, and they are ready to take this to the checkpoint.
Yeah, they used those 2 specials to try and basically say, like, no, this is our spot now. But since it's in that low ground, since it's in this canyon area, they end up getting absolutely surrounded. They put up a siege on their position, the members of Leviathan did, and because of that, they were able to clear them out and prevent them from moving forward. Gonna be getting the Rainmaker taken down, moving back into mid, but they've got to deal with the specials of Leviathan this time. I don't know if they're equipped. Board is sharking in another really good spot, and if they come left again, it's just gonna end in disaster.
Someone gets a lucky pick on the Rainmaker holder right there. Here comes Board. The Inzap is just going in right now with that tactical or juice, but Board stopping them short. And I mean, we're just going to see constant one-off situations here. I mean, I just see people dying left and right. There's no clear sense of direction on either team right now. Magic, I think these teams are scared straight of this ending.
Oh, yes, they are. They're so scared. They want to make sure that each push is right, and neither of them has had the confidence to make these big plays that we've been seeing so far, right? They're trying to play safe. They're trying to make sure that they're the ones that can win this one in the end. It's gonna be going down to a crazy ink back shot from Let's See, and they're gonna pick up the Rainmaker. They're going. They've got the Rainmaker, and they're gonna dunk the pedestal, but no! Board clutched it! The Dapples clutched it just before getting the lead for Inkception. Fortunately, they're gonna go down, and finally, that checkpoint's getting... No, it happens again! You're kidding me, Luna! What is going on? They finally get it! No one's there to stop them this time. That's gonna be a dunk, but that was so many resources that they had to use up. They need to get this Rainmaker down now if you're on the side of Leviathan. They're gonna go around the U-shaped grates?
What is going on? No, but they back out now. This is the time. But out the Dapples getting one. Oh, but wasn't able to follow through on the charge. Now they got around the charger here. They're trying to get the picks up along the Rainmaker here. They're just zipping and sliding and unable to follow through. The Rainmaker is stuck. Magic, there are only 50 seconds left. And Leviathan needs to come up with a huge answer right now to get back all of this ink that they have lost.
Oh, look at Jode. Look at Jode sharding in the right side. Not able to find it though. Board was able to clear it out just in time and set up some beacons for the time being, because this is going to be a long, hard push to make. They need to get everything. They have the checkpoint that they need to get through as well. They need to go on the right side here to get to that quick checkpoint area and get up that ramp, which can get them the points that they need, but not if they go down. 3 down. A ceiling shot from Soul to send them into a 3-down situation. They're just gonna back up the Rainmaker. They're gonna take it back. Nobody can chase after them. There's too much paint. Inkception is your Little Squid League 25 winners. Oh, wow.
Inkception. Wow. Kira Cloud on that end zap just stole away Leviathan's dreams of becoming the LSL 25 champions. They came in and completely distracted the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker was just completely isolated and on their own. And then the Octopus had to come back and backtrack and defend the Rainmaker. And Kara just played Spoiler Maker and completely ruined the chances of Leviathan from taking the crown and the trophy. That was that play that they needed to completely secure and shut the win and shut down Leviathan.
That was legendary. I agree. That's gonna go down in history as one of the best finals of LSL, in my opinion. In my opinion. I mean, a game 7 of that caliber where they were really doing so well the entire time, like it was trading blows back and forth. That's how you know that these teams are evenly matched, and they are, right? Inkception etched them out, but as far as I'm concerned, Leviathan is more than a worthy competitor.
I was just about to say, Magic, that match was so thrilling. My heart rate spiked at like halfway through the match. It jumped to like 98 when Board was trying to get through that podium, and like there was all those shenanigans, right? As Inkception finally took the lead at towards that like that 130-minute mark there.
Yeah.
These two teams, they've been playing for so long, and they gave us, the commentators and the viewers and LSL, a thrilling performance on stream. Of course, congrats to Inkception for this wonderful win. Absolutely well deserved. But Leviathan, these gamers put on a show. These are teams to look out for in low ink. They have the caliber to just get ready and disrupt low ink. I can see these teams making beta, potentially alpha bracket in the near future. I'm gonna call it right now.
That's
a little presumptuous, but honestly, the way that they performed and the experiences that they had today are gonna be such huge takeaways for both of these teams heading into the next big thing for them.
Right, exactly. These are the rising stars, right? That's what I love about LSL, is that this is where you see them take that chance and run with it. And I'm excited to see what they do. I believe we are going to be closing out very shortly. Mizuna, where can the good people find you?
Folks, you all can find me both on Twitter and Twitch at MIZU_in0. Hey Magic, where can the good people find you? Where can everyone find you?
Right at the other side, right here at Magic_Octo is my Twitter and my TikTok, and those are the places where I post pretty much frequently. So if you enjoy hearing my thoughts and want to get more involved on the news of the competitive scene, follow me at those locations. But I believe that is going to do it from us at LSL 25. Thank you so much to all the people behind the scenes. Thank you so much to Rookie, to Parias, to Jub and Rob, everyone who has worked to make this thing happen. We applaud you. Thank you so much for making an awesome tournament and an awesome experience. And that's going to do it.
Thank you all for joining us on stream today and for joining us at LSL 25. We greatly appreciate everyone and your time spent with us today, and we hope to see you all at a future tournament near you. Take care, folks. Have a good night.